This is episode 585. And today we're going to be talking about how to develop a motivated mindset. From time to time, each of us will find ourselves in a rut of boredom or disinterest, or maybe even burnout. We on a previous podcast, we talked about burnout, but we can find ourselves in this quagmire of just non-movement, if you will. And we seem to lose our zest for life and feel tired, irritable, unmotivated, just want to become that big old couch potato or that couch log if we prefer to lie down on it. We want to hide under the covers rather than face the day. So there's many things that we do just to distract ourselves when we're feeling this blahness. So perhaps you're feeling overwhelmed by work or sad about the pain and suffering in the world, or even just bored with routine of your daily life. Again, with work and the things that we've gone through over the past couple of years, we've kind of changed the way we live and changed the way we work. And just that change itself can be disengaging for us, but realize that you're not alone. Although that doesn't help you specifically, it does help that you're not the only one feeling this. And there are people that have felt it and come out of it. And there are people who felt it and still in it. Hopefully through this podcast, you'll be one of those who feel it and get out of it. So, we all grew through periods like this at some point. I go through them, but I have my trampoline plan, my bounce back plan, if you will, to get back into it. And the good news is that we can do something about this, right? When we're feeling this way, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of just life itself. We know if we look at it as, hey, this is temporary, what can I do to get out of it? Then we can start, as opposed to why is this happening to me? Why don't I feel motivated? Why? You're going to get all the answers. And that's not the question. It's how can I get inspired? How can I get motivated? So what I'm going to do is go through some tips to help you break out of the rut and feel excited about your life again. Again, these are just some tips. There are many, many, many ways to get motivated and inspired. These are some that have worked for me and have worked for my clients. So the first one, take a time out. If we're trying to push something so much that we're bored with it, we're unmotivated, whatever, and we keep pushing, that might be the best time to take a time out. If we're feeling so overwhelmed, the thing is, if we're feeling so overwhelmed, we're not getting anything done. So taking a time out, we're still not going to get anything done, but we can recharge our batteries. I remember listening to an individual a few years ago that talked about, and I forgot her name right now, but talked about when you're feeling overwhelmed, that's the best time to take a break. And she would recommend you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't know what to do, get up, walk, go outside in nature, walk around, look at butterflies, look at flowers, look at the grass, look at whatever it is. You take a time out because we can be so focused on something we want to get done, and then we get frustrated that we're not doing it, and we end up in this hamster wheel going over and over. But if we can take a break, go outside, don't take a break and go watch TV, but it would be take a break and meditate, take a break and go for a walk, take a break and take a time out and do something for you to change your state. Because when we have this, boredom is a state, we feel this. And when we can shift our state, we can then come back and attack or go after the project with a little bit more enthusiasm. So consider taking some time out. Get inspired. So if we're here, we come back from our time out, our break, and we want to get inspired. There are awesome. There's, for the short ones, there's on YouTube motivational speeches. You can look up movies, inspirational movies. There's quote. You can look up inspirational quotes, but go searching for something to get inspired, right? Motivation comes from the external. Inspiration comes from the internal. So when we're looking for quotes, for movies, for videos, we want to be motivated and then embody it to be inspired. But find something that you really like. Like for me, I love watching CrossFit athletes push it. So I'll watch a few of those and then I'll be inspired and motivated to have a great workout. If I'm feeling kind of down at with my coaching, I'll go and listen to Tony Robbins, Brendan Bouchard, or some other people, get inspired, and then I'll go for it. Whatever that is for you, it's okay to, take that break and find that inspiration, whether it's a book, a podcast, a blog, a video, a quote, whatever it is. Go look for it. Go, I need to be inspired. I'm going to go look for it, and you will find the right subject, the right person. Get excited. And now once you get inspired, you can get excited. That can be thinking of the future and what it's going to be like when this is accomplished. It could be listening to some great music and getting excited and dancing around. Both of these increase our energy, but inspired is that we want to accomplish something. Excited is having our body full of energy. So we can think of different ways of getting excited, right? Just jumping around, dancing, running, listening to some powerful, powerful music will get me excited. I'm also thinking about the future, the positive future on what it's going to be like can get you excited. So we can get excited, increase this energy, and we can be inspired because there's going to be a hopeful future for us. But both of these are focusing. The inspiration is kind of focusing now. The excited is focusing on the future. You combine all those together and you can really pump up the volume a lot on your energy, if you will. Take tiny steps. Often when we are demotivated or find ourselves slacking, it's because our goal is so far in front of us. It's like, when we start running a marathon, we get done with the first 100 yards, like, my gosh, I'm not going to run this whole thing. But if we just run to the next light pole, the next fence, the next bush, the next tree, we take those tiny steps and keep going. So there's those widely important goals, the WIGs, and then there's the macro goals, and then there's the micro goals. Those micro goals are those tiny steps. We still need a big goal to go after, but then we break it down and going, what can I get done today? Well, if let's just say you were not motivated to write an article. Well, if I could just write 3 sentences today and be done with it. 3 sentences is a tiny step as opposed to 1,000-word blog post, if that's what you were doing. But think of that project, that goal that you're going after, that you're just not motivated because you think it's going to take forever and you think it's not going to be worth it and you think, why should I bother? Then you go back, get inspired get excited about why it's going to be worth it, and then just take a tiny step. Think of what's one thing I can do today, just one small thing. That might be format the paper. That might be just call somebody, whatever that tiny step is, and then take it. Self-care. So when we are not motivated, we tend to neglect ourselves. Sometimes us guys forget to shave quite often. And sometimes, there's just this whole self-care. We put on shabby clothes. We put on clothes that don't inspire us. They may be just very big baggy sweatpants and sweatshirts, and we just don't get inspired by it. But the self-care goes from showering, obviously, right? Shaving, and then putting on clothes that are great, that make us feel worthy of ourselves, because we always have those frumpy clothes around. So put on some other clothes. That self-care. And, a massage, going to the gym, going to the sauna, going to yoga, all of those things. The funny thing is that many of my clients, when they're not motivated, don't do the things that they love. They love to go out for a walk, but they don't. They love to do yoga, but they don't. They love to go out and have coffee with a friend, but they don't. All that is part of self-care. So when you look at self-care, when you're feeling good on top of the game, what do? Well, I go out with friends. I go to yoga. I go to the gym. Start doing those things. That's part of self-care, because you do them when you're feeling really good. So you do them now when you're not feeling so good, so that you will feel good. So just keep in mind, right? Reward yourself from time to time. That doesn't mean if you're working out and on a nutrition program that you eat a whole chocolate cake by yourself. It means reward yourself, pat yourself in the back, give yourself an acknowledgement saying, good job, good job. And then eliminate the things that truly don't bring you joy. This is probably the biggest thing for people to do is remove the things that don't bring you joy. When we do something out of obligation, we will then become resentful. And there's a whole list of these things that, either going to helping somebody move, going out with somebody, whatever it is, we feel obligated and it doesn't bring us joy and we do things. So remember, we have to do some things that we don't enjoy, but if we're demotivated, we want to eliminate those things so it doesn't bring us down. Then when we get our energy back out, we can do it. Like doing the dishes. I don't think anybody likes doing the dishes. So if you eliminate it, just put everything in the dishwasher, wait for it to stack up for a week, and then do it, and then take care of it as it comes along. Motivation, just like happiness, is something you choose. And I would say motivation we can choose because it's external. Once we get that spark going, we then turn it into inspiration. And that's something that we can focus on. We can choose motivation and we can focus on inspiration. And you may need to give yourself a little push at the beginning, right? The carrot and the stick. We give that stick, boom, 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 hit us. But once you get into the right mindset, it's simple to stay there if we choose to. So you use that stick on your to get you going, then you use that carrot to keep you going. So all of these are wonderful, wonderful tips on developing that motivated mindset. So you can see the show notes on this at warriormindcoach.com. While you're over there, you can find some information about more blog posts, more podcasts, and ways of getting a hold of me and asking for requesting a consultation. And while you're on the internet, you can follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest under Warrior Mind Coach.